Hey friends, welcome to my channel. It's Tori, and today I'm super excited because I am going to be sharing with you guys my Christmas book haul. Alright, so I have this split out into the stack of books that I was given for Christmas and then a stack of books that I bought during Christmas. The first gift that I was given are these two books, Blood Eye by Giles Christian, which is a historical fiction, 9th century England. It is Viking-inspired historical fiction. And then this one is Chasing Graves by Ben Galley. This is a ancient Egypt-inspired self-pub fantasy book. Cannot wait to get to this. I'll be budding reading this with my friend Jord at the Escapist Book Company. And these two books were incredibly graciously gifted to me by my dear friend Theo over at Rekindled Reader. If you are not subscribed to his channel already, go do that because he is a up-and-coming booktuber that is just going to take the booktube community by storm. He's got amazing content. Go check him out. So Theo, thank you so much for these. I cannot wait to read them, and that was so generous of you. Thank you for sending me these. Next up, I participated in a Secret Santa gift exchange over on Andrew's Wiz Reads. I'll link him down in the description below. Also his Discord. And Alex Sedai was my Secret Santa, and he very graciously sent me this beautiful self-pub grimdark novel, Kings of Paradise by Richard Nell. I've heard so much about this book, and I'm very excited to read it. I literally know almost nothing about this book as far as what's in it. I just know that it is a grimdark novel. That is all I know. So to my Secret Santa from the gift exchange, thank you so much for sending me this. I'm very excited to read it, and I appreciate you. All right, next up, this kind of counts as a Christmas gift. This was a book that I purchased. However, I purchased it to give it as a gift to buddy read with my dad. My dad is more of a kind of classics / historical fiction, nonfiction reader. He's not as big into fantasy, so I went on the hunt for a book that would kind of overlap into both of our tastes, and I enlisted the help of Alan from the Library of Alexandria to figure out which book I should get as a buddy read for me and my dad, and I ended up going with Augustus by John Williams. This is the story of Julius Caesar, and it's apparently some incredible prose. I've heard amazing things about John Williams' prose, and comes highly recommended from quite a few of my booktube friends, and it sounds like it's going to be something that my dad will also really enjoy. Next up, my amazing friend Ash sent me two books for Christmas. The first one is the illustrated 5 Rings, which is a Japanese classic that goes into battle and war strategies and all that kind of stuff, and this is so exciting to me. I have the illustrated matching edition of The Art of War up on my shelf, so now I have both. I'm excited to read both of them and compare and see what the difference is, which ones may be better or which one I enjoy more. Secondly, she sent me this amazing book, Samurai Weapons and Fighting Techniques, as a writing resource. She knows that I am a huge fan of this time period and the samurai in general, Japanese history, all of the things. And I'm just so excited to read this. It's going to be an amazing resource. I can't wait. She wrote me really sweet notes inside these books. So, Ash, thank you so much. I love you so much. I'm so grateful for your friendship. Thank you for the gift. Next up, my mom gave me The Diary of Elizabeth Corrin. This is a young woman who was a Norwegian immigrant to America in the 1800s, and my family has a very rich Nordic heritage, and so this is really exciting because I always love reading things that are connected to my family history and heritage, as well as everyone else's, so I'm excited to read this. I'm always on the lookout for good autobiographies and memoirs. I do like to read those throughout the year, so I'm very excited to dig into this and get a little bit of insight into the world of a young woman who came from Norway into America in the 1800s. Next up, my amazing best friend Sarah from Sparrow Springs Art. I'll link her channel also down in the description. She's an incredible artist. You should go subscribe and watch her create amazing things. Also got me an amazing writer's resource. This is The Conflict Thesaurus by Angela Ackerman and Becca Puglisi. I don't know how to say her last name, I apologize. This series, for anyone who's a writer, they have the Emotions Thesaurus, the Emotional Wounds Thesaurus, etc., etc., etc. There's a whole series of them, and eventually I would like to own the whole set. This one I'm very excited to dig into. These books are absolutely incredible. Here's the event: confiding in the wrong person. Examples: minor complications, potentially disastrous results, resulting emotions, impact on basic needs, positive outcomes. Like, it's amazing. These books are just such a rich kind of dictionary for writers on conflict, emotions, and all sorts of character things. So Sarah, thank you so much for this. I can't wait to dig in. Last but not least, my wonderful husband bought me a copy of Firefly, Big Damn Hero, which is the first in, I believe, a series. I can't remember how many books are in this, but these are novels based on the TV show Firefly, which I'm sure most of you are familiar with. It is one of my favorite TV shows of all time. I love these characters so much, so much. And I was really excited to see that there were novels, and I didn't even know there were novels until like a year ago, and I have made it one of my goals to read them because I can't get enough Firefly content. So to Ben, thanks babe, you know me so well, and I am really excited to read this. Now for the books that I purchased during the December/Christmas-y season. And the first one is a book that I have been told by quite a few people I am going to absolutely love, so we will see if that's true, and that is Flames of Mira by Clay Harmon. I don't know a whole lot about this book, in fairness. The cover is quite awesome. I'm here for it. The map on the inside is honestly stunning. I absolutely love this map. Look how beautiful that is. So this one, what I do know about it is that the main character has some kind of chemical compound, I believe, bound to their body. Sorello Adrian is cursed with flesh-binding magic that will kill him at the first sign of disobedience. So I am kind of anticipating this to give me some similar feels as like the Red Rising trilogy, maybe. I'm hoping for that, because we love a rebellious overcomer, and I'm here for that. So this was the first book that I bought myself in December. Next up, this was another recommendation that I got from several of my booktube friends, and that is Stoner by John Williams. Alan from the Library of Alexandria again talked about it. Joanna talked about it. Evie talked about it. I think, like, there's a whole bunch of people that have recently read this book and had a lot of amazing things to say about it. I've heard that this is a very slow-paced novel, but that the prose is just chef's kiss. So this is technically a classic. It's about a young man going to university, and that's about all I know about it, and it's gonna be definitely a twist away from my typical reading style, I think, but I'm really excited to give it a try and see what I think of it. Next up, I picked up this copy of Persian Fire by Tom Holland. This is a, I believe, historical fiction that delves a little bit more into the Persian Empire, which is, again, an era of history that I would really like to do more study on and just find out more about. It sounds really fascinating to me. And yeah, I had seen that this had some really good ratings, so I picked up a copy of it. Next up is another book that I've been told that I'm going to love. I'm really trying to listen to you guys and try a few books that I have been told by multiple people, hey Tori, if you like these books, you should also read this. And I picked up The Bladed Faith by David Dalglish. This one, again, I don't know that much about. I know that the protagonist starts out very young and orphaned and becomes a, like, really powerful warrior of some kind, is my general gist of this book. Again, I try really hard to go into these not knowing a whole lot about them, which makes it hard for me to synopsize it on a video. But first of all, this cover, excellent, love it. And yeah, this was just another one that is kind of on a, this feels like a book that I'm really gonna enjoy, so I'm excited to check it out. Next up, I got a book that I am super excited about. As you guys know, I love me some Asian-inspired fantasy. I love it so much. It's one of my favorite genres to read. And I discovered a new author recently who's an indie author, and he is writing some wuxia Asian inspired fantasy books, and so I grabbed one of his novella series books, The Touch of Murder. This is by J.F. Lee. He has also written some other books that I'll put the one that I noticed on Twitter up here so you guys can see it. I don't remember the name of it, The Sword of Something, I think. First of all, it's a gorgeous cover, but I wanted to kind of get a taste of his writing style, and if I really like this, I'm definitely going to be picking up more books by this author. This one is kind of a like historical based murder mystery fantasy from what I can tell, and it's got some Korean inspired flavor to it, which I am 100% here for. So yeah, I will let you guys know what I think of this. I'm very excited to read this. Sounds like we have kind of an anti-hero narrator, which is also always fun. Next up, I picked up another classic, and that is The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, which I mentioned on my classics bucket list video recently. Is a book that I've been wanting to read. It's tiny, so it's not going to take me that long to read it. It also matches my Special Frankenstein copy over there. So yeah, this is a book that I'm just very curious to read. It's one that I would like to cross off of my classics bucket list. The last two were Where the Mountain Meets the Moon, and this is by Grace Lin. This one, I believe, is a retelling of a Chinese fairy tale. The main character sets off on a quest to find the man in the moon and gets to ride a dragon, I think, based on the cover. And this one is another kind of middle grade level read. I really love the cover, and it's a Newbery Award winner, which typically I don't pay a whole lot of attention to like award winners specifically, but this one I'm really curious about and I'd really like to check it out. Last but not least, I picked up a historical fiction called The Frozen Hours by Jeff Shara. This one is based on the Korean War and America's involvement in the Korean War, and that's an era that I also know very little about and want to learn more of. And Jeff Shara is one of the authors of this series that I mentioned in my top historical fiction reads, Gods and Generals, Killer Angels, and The Last Full Measure. He was a part of that. I believe he wrote Last Full Measure? I can't remember which of them he wrote, but I did not know that Jeff Shara wrote a novel in the Korean War. I picked it up because Book Outlet had it in hardcover, and it's a little dinged up, but that's okay. I'm excited to read it and find out more about the Korean War. All right, guys, that is my book haul. I also bought a bunch of ebooks. There was a sale on Reddit recently, and there were some other sales, and there were just ebooks, and I bought some. So there's a bunch of those as well, but for now I'll just keep it to the physical copies that I purchased in December. But yeah, I would love to know down in the comments what you guys got for Christmas. If you bought yourself a book for Christmas, if you got a book for Christmas, let me know what you got down in the comments. And yeah, I hope you guys are having a great week. I hope you are all having 5-star reads, and I will see you in the next video.